All right, we're finally outside, which is pretty exciting. It's a beautiful day here. We've made it through 2 days of prep indoors on our brisket. Now we're ready to go. So what I'm going to do, I've got my keg set up. I'm ready to get it lit. I'm going to add my wood chips to it and let the temperature settle in well before the brisket goes on. You want to have your temperature settled in nicely on your keg before you put any meat on there. You want to make sure you're locked in. It's a long cook. If it goes on too hot, you're going to seal it off early. You're not going to pick up all that great smoky barbecue flavor by using it at a high heat. So really important that you get your temperature dialed in exactly where you want it on your keg. In this case, with the brisket, you want to be 225 to 250. And again, that's just a guideline. It's not hard and fast. You'll see recipes where you cook at a much higher temperature. You can do brisket up to even 400 degrees and still get a fantastic result if you know what you're doing. So something to think about. I'm pleased to report our quality assurance department has finally showed up for work, so that's a good sign, right? He's ready to go. We have our keg approaching temperature. Let's talk wood chips for a minute. You can add chips to enhance many flavors. If you don't have a ton of experience with wood chips, what you can do is start with a fruit wood. Apple, pear, cherry, those are all options to give you good, sweeter, milder flavors as far as smoking goes. Work your way into hickory and mesquite. Those are much stronger flavors, and if you overdo it, you'll really, really know. Another thing to think about with wood chips, are you soaking them or not? You can soak them, that sort of delays the smoke process, and what ends up happening is you get a consistent smoke over a longer time. If you don't soak them, you get a lot of smoke right away, which in the case of brisket works really well because what you end up doing is infusing that smoke into the brisket before the internal temperature comes up to the point where you stop really enhancing the smoke flavor in what you're cooking. So part of that is the smoke ring, part of that's the smoke flavor. They're not totally related. You can have a really smoky piece of meat and you won't see the smoke ring in it, and you can have the exact opposite, where you have a great smoke ring, this thick red line on the outside of whatever you're cooking, but you may not have a great smoke flavor. So they're not totally related, but part of its presentation, part of its flavor. You want them both if you can get them, but it doesn't always happen that way. So to actually use wood chips with your keg, there's no magic here. Just pop the keg open, throw a handful of wood chips in there. If you're soaking them, give them about half an hour in the water, and you can do a combination of the two. You can soak some chips, you can have some dry chips, and you're adding them in both at the same time. It gives you a nice layered smoke over a couple of hours of cooking time. We've done all the hard work, which is to say about 10 minutes 2 days ago, about 10 minutes yesterday. I don't know what you've done in between. Maybe you cut the lawn, maybe you napped. It doesn't really matter at this point, but the brisket's ready to go. That's the important thing. So we'll put that on the keg. There's nothing pretty about this. It's too big to handle with tongs in most cases, so just reach in there and have at her. We'll open the keg, let the smoke settle out of it a little bit. So you want that nice smoke rolling as you get into it. You don't want to put something on the keg when you're trying to impart smoke and not have any smoke coming out of it. So we've got a good smoke happening here. Our chips are doing their job. It's not pretty. I'm just going for it. Fits like a glove.